What's going on, friends? You watching Sports Talk with B. Watts. I'm your host, Bernard Watts. Do me a favor. You got to do me a solid. You got to hit the like button. Hit that like button as you come in. Appreciate it if you do that. Also, subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed. Small channel going into my second year. If you subscribe, help us to reach the numbers that we trying to reach. Anything you do will be highly appreciated. And also, if you'd like to continue to support the broadcast in any kind of way, hey, you can cash out, you can super chat, or you can just simply join the membership. Join the membership. Can we get about 5 or 10 people to join the membership tonight in 24 hours? All right? Appreciate it. Want to thank everybody who's already joined the membership. Appreciate everything that you do for the broadcast. All right? Hey, got a good show for you tonight. Got JR Boxing. Also got the Bernie Mac of the show. That's Uncle Steve. And we got a special guest, Greg Said, from Thursday night. And he got his own show also. He's going to be on the show. We getting ready to talk about Shedeur Sunday. They need to start my dog or they need to trade him. I'm going to see what the fellas got to say. And what happened to Coach Prime and the Colorado football team versus Utah this past Saturday. We getting ready to talk about it right here on Sports Talk with B. Watts. I got one of the best chat rooms on YouTube. Appreciate them from joining me every night. I mean, every night they are here. They support the broadcast. So if you're new to the broadcast, jump down in the comment section and let us know who you are and what state you represent. We need to know. All right? Do I have any Georgia peoples in the house tonight? I'm from the state of Georgia. Come on, Georgia, stand up in that paint. Don't let Texas outdo us and Florida. What? Okay, then. All right. Let's get ready to bring the guys up. I'm telling you, this the order we're going to go in as I bring them up tonight. All right? When I ask the first topic, this the first person. We'll start it out tonight, and y'all know who he is. The one and only who y'all always ask me about. JR Boxing is in the house. Give it up for him. You got to give it up for JR Boxing. What's up, JR? What happened to him? All right, JR, Tuesday night. Here you go. All right, let me try it right here then. That didn't work. Let me try it right there. Big dog, what's going on? We got JR Boxing in the house.
B. Watts, what's happening with you, sir? Chat, what's good? What's good,
Man,
chat?
I am good, brother. I am good. We appreciate you joining the panel tonight. And we're going to bring up, let's see who we got. Y'all bear with me. Greg Said. What's up, man? What's going on, Frank?
Why you looking angry?
Yeah. I called him on a Tuesday night. He ain't eating.
Well, I'm just glad to see JR got his Colorado get back on. It must have been slaughter. You know they need him. They need him.
I gotta represent, man.
They gotta represent.
Down bad. They down bad, man.
They got Colorado on suicide watch.
All right, we got the one and only. We got the Bernie Mac. The Bernie Mac of the show. Put it together. For the one and only, He needs no introduction.
There you go.
Uncle Steve is in the building. What's going on, Unc?
Hey, it's another day.
Yeah.
If you got them on suicide watch, you better have them naked, because they
Yeah.
don't need to have nothing on.
Yeah.
Because they sure when you're on suicide watch, they don't you came here like you was born, butt naked.
Hey, you
And
right
that's
about
what they
that.
should do.
Hey, I already know. We're going to take your sheets. We're going to take your
Everything.
Shoestrings,
Yeah.
everything.
You
Not
got to
one
boot it. You got
shoestring
to
left
boot
in the
it
tent,
up.
huh?
Boot it to be tooted. Hey, and you got to sleep on that cold steel bed.
But you can't stop
Cold steel
Colorado.
bed. And guess what they do, Uncle Steve? They turn the temperature down.
Absolutely. You need to be uncomfortable. You need to be uncomfortable.
You know why that ain't gonna work? Because Colorado gonna do one thing they do well. They know how to choke.
All right, fellas. We appreciate. Want to thank. We got the boys on here. I'm celebrating my birthday today. What a way to celebrate your birthday, even though it's tomorrow. I don't know if I'll be able to do my live tomorrow, but I'll drop at least 2 or 3 videos tomorrow, and I'll definitely be back Thursday. But hey, we celebrating the birthday tonight with my dogs. I got JR Boxing. That's the order we gonna go in. He gonna start it off, followed by Greg Said It. And last, we got Bernie Mac gonna clean it up. All right, let's start this show off, fellas. Here we go. They said, Greg, turn your volume up. They can't hear you for some reason. All right, JR, here we go, JR. JR, it's a lot of stuff going on with the Cleveland Browns and this quarterback situation. And when you listen to the head coach, he gonna stick with Dylan Gabriel. Look like he dug his heel in the sand and he ain't moving from it. Look like he's trying to take the whole ship down before you put Shedeur out there. What do you take from that?
Well, look, I'm gonna keep mine short and sweet because ain't nobody here to see me, Otis. I know who they here to see. But look, man, that's like Stefanski. How he doing? Shedeur. Look, Steph Nasky. Nobody there to see DG, man. Nobody's there to see him. And the play on the field is atrocious. And the fact that Kevin Stefanski has reiterated that Shedeur, he's pretty much said he's not worried about Shedeur. That's an issue. When your first words were, "We're here to develop all," I'll leave it at that, Greg. Short and sweet.
Well, I think the reason why that man gonna keep his job is because he's doing his job. You know, he been there how many years? He's doing his job. The whole purpose of Cleveland is to be a losing team. It's like when you go on a farm, you know what I'm saying? You got pigs and cows, sheep and goats, and you know the pig job is to be a pig and eat slop and get slaughtered at the end of the day. And that's Cleveland Browns. Their job is to get slaughtered by everybody. So somebody got to be the pig on the farm. Everybody can't be no stallion. Everybody can't be. What you got? Chickens and all. Even chickens get slaughtered, but that's all. Their job is to be the losing team. Everybody can't win in the NFL. When you go to, I gave y'all the analogy about the wrestling. I think y'all forgot. You got Ric Flair come out there with all the smoke and stuff like that, with the strings and the outfits and the showmanship. Then you got that guy who just come out there with the blue underwear on, with the drawers on. He don't have no fun. He ain't got no cape.
That's Cleveland.
He just stand in the ring. He just stand in the ring, or he just run out there real fast. He don't get no intro. He ain't got no entourage. He just there. He ain't finna win. He just there to hold space. That's Cleveland. They out there with the orange underwear on with no name on the back.
Lord.
The name supposed to be on your butt or something. Like he got plain Speedo underwear on. You finna lose. Ric Flair got a whole outfit in the theme song. So Colorado is that team. They just there to lose. I'm not Colorado. Frog and slip.
Cleveland.
I give it to you, Steve.
Nothing's changed in America. It's the good old boy system. And with the good old boy, they letting you know. When we say dance, we want you to dance. When we want you to laugh, we want you to laugh. And at the end of the day, the man is telling you what he feels. He's telling you this. I don't care what y'all say. This Nad ain't getting out there on that field, no matter what y'all say. If you want to put him out there, it'll be over my dead body. And that's what they do. That's what they do. It has nothing to do with winning. It has nothing to do with putting people in seats. Because if it did, he'd be playing. Everybody's telling you now. Boy, Sean King was so eloquent today. They got hot with Sean King, boy. Sean
Yeah.
King lit him up like a Christmas tree when he told him. He said
Yeah.
he wasn't better than him in high school. He
Yeah.
wasn't better than him in college, and he dang sure ain't better than him now. But with that being said, y'all tell folks, oh, we got to be 2 times better than nobody. No, you don't. What you have to do, you have to have people who are gonna go in there and do the right thing. Those fans need to boycott. If they don't go to that game, I guarantee you're going to get the fans what they want. Because I don't care what kind of billionaire you are. When you start losing money, you gonna say, hey, let's do the right thing. Because even when Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King did their thing, it only stopped when they stopped that money. When they stopped that money, boy, it turned around. Oh, we do need to get y'all some rights because the money stopped. So with this being said, I blame the people of Cleveland.
Yeah.
Just like Greg said, just like Greg said it. Y'all accept that foolishness. And because y'all accept that foolishness, that's what you're going to get. Is Steph Nasty a nice guy that you can go to the Cracker Barrel with and eat? Or even the Waffle House? But normally it's the Cracker Barrel. You'll love him. He's a good person for that. But that's about it. I think Greg wanted to say so. Back to you, B.
Well, I know
Wise.
the biggest thing that people don't know about the whole thing about with Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks, that they waited till the media convention came down there. The cameras wasn't just there for no reason. It was a media convention. Well off is a media conglomerate. They just gotta document everything so you can't lie like they've been doing. But at the end of the day, you can't scale broke program. Cleveland been broke and busted for a long time. They used to empty stadiums. They gonna have an empty stadium and they gonna lose every year. And they don't know what to do if the stadium was full. They wouldn't know what to do with it. When the last time you seen them sell out the Cleveland Stadium? Think about it. It's almost like they want that. It would be uncomfortable to get anything outside of that. Winning would be almost scary for them. Winning and selling out. Well, it reminds me a lot of Colorado. Colorado was in that same situation. Even though Colorado had a more of a winning tradition, it was a culture shock for Colorado. When Coach Prime came, the people was like, "Oh my goodness, people going to the games! Oh my goodness, it's a buzz. You're on TV every week." It was like uncomfortable. That it was too much. It was overkill that first year, and that's what I think Cleveland is like. You got that losing spirit. They worried about that. They can't handle that.
Man, that's crazy. That's some nasty work. But Steve, you brought up Sean King. What y'all listening to this?
Maybe the most egregious pick in all of the 2025 draft was the Browns taking Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round. There's no way you can evaluate the quarterback position and have him rated as a higher prospect than Shedeur Sanders. There's no way that you can be an astute quarterback evaluator and think he was worthy of an asset as valuable as a 3rd round pick. We got to get to the root of the problem here. I mean, that was an egregious draft pick, and to die on the vine is very disappointing. That was a terrible draft pick. Now, don't accelerate the mistake by continuing down the path that you never should have went down in the first place. It's time to go to Shedeur Sanders simply because he was a better prospect coming out of college than Dylan Gabriel.
And
Hey, you ain't right, man.
Let me play that one more time.
Man.
This is the player they drafted before Shedeur Sanders. Let me play that one more time. Can I peel the curtain back? Can I look through the curtain? Where's Steve? Where's JR, where is Greg? Oh, Greg, I see you. Peekaboo. Here you go. Peekaboo. Yeah. Yeah. Here's your quarterback. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Hey,
When I
man.
look at the performance, JR, Dylan Gabriel so far, bro, how did they draft this dude before Shedeur Sanders? Matter of fact, Uncle Steve, I saw Cam Ward, Greg, perform 2 weeks ago. He ain't playing no better. How did these guys get drafted before Shedeur Sanders? I know collusion. I get that. But Steve, come on, JR.
Look, man, look, it gotta be collusion. And look, shout out to Gucci over there on X, man. Look, he posted something that, you know, if you want to string together and really dive deep into some things, what he posted was that Dylan Gabriel is represented by the same sports agency as Kevin Stefanski, as Dan Lannon, as Brett Venables. And there's a multitude of things that are going into this. So I mean, if you want to peel back them curtains, B Watts. Hey, it could be something to that. But look, whatever it is, Kevin Stefanski, he is going to lose his job on that heel, Greg, and that's the unfortunate situation we are in as Shedeur Sanders fans right now.
Hey man, he's a hot commodity, man. You got to think about it. He's a hot commodity. A losing coach is a hot commodity in the NFL because you don't need no mafia for them. That's an automatic loss that you can get. You don't have to cheat the game. You don't have to throw no game. He can throw it himself. Somebody need to put Pat Schumer back up there. I know he's finna get a job soon. He might be in Miami next year. They need these losing quarterbacks, man. I mean, that's how the NFL makes it, man. That's why the same teams win the Super Bowl and go to playoff every year. The rest of them, they just lose. And you got Cleveland, you got the Jets, you got Miami, you got like the Raiders. You know, you got the teams, we can name them. Indianapolis, since Peyton been gone. Certain teams, you know they're gonna lose every year. The Falcons, you know they're gonna give away a game.
Yeah.
You know it. We in Atlanta, we know the Falcons gonna lose.
Yeah, we know we here.
It don't matter what they doing, they're gonna find a way to lose. And I to the point, I don't been around long enough, but I don't buy the lie that they just losing just because they all pros, right? They all was drafted. But then you got to look at how do you draft a person like Dylan Gabriel unless you're planning to lose. You got to fit the team according to the type of team that you want. So you got to get you some losing linemen in there that can't block, some losing linemen, some DBs that's gonna get toasted. That's why DJ McKinney, you know, people like that, they go to the NFL, they can fit right in. I'm saying, like, how they gonna make it? But that's exactly because everybody can't be a lockdown corner. You can name lockdown corners on one hand, but you can name a lot of corners that get burnt to lose the game at the end. You know, you can name a lot of guys, but they no name guys. That's who fill in the roster. So you got superstars, and then you got the rest of them guys. You ain't got to cheat with them guys. The mafia is for like Pat Mahomes. He with the mafia. The other squirrels you put out there, they gonna help you lose regardless. That's why, you know, if he don't have a good game, it's a loss. You see what I'm saying? So that's what we dealing with. You know, these losing coaches, he ain't gonna lose no job. If not, he gonna go to one of the other losing teams.
Shout out to Marie S. Yeah, I got you. Shout out to Marie S. With the $5. Say, B-Watts, you earned that super chat, and you're gonna have to hit that graphic again. Play it again, B-Watts.
Yeah.
You made that. I know B-Watts ain't want to make that graphic. B-Watts been hanging with super Chat GPT.
Yeah,
that's exactly what he did. But the shame is this one here. That play really did happen in the game. and it was for a safety too. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
we're saying it as a joke, but it really happened in the game. You saw that in an actual game, and for those players out there like Myles Garrett to do something that Cleveland has never done before with those 5 sacks, you're
Mhm.
not going to even remember that. The only
Mm-hmm.
thing you're going to remember is when Vrabel says after the game, well, when we knew the game was over, when they stopped it all, when we took care of those gadget plays, it
That
was
was the
over.
one.
Now, 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 what coach? And he was coaching with Cleveland last year. Vrabel was.
Yeah.
What
Mm-hmm.
coach says this about another coach? They don't even say that about Coach Prime when it comes to Colorado. They'll say it amongst themselves, but they don't get on TV and say it, them gimmicks and stuff like that. The opposing coach. And what it tells me is this here. Those coaches are paid good money and they have relationships. The only reason Steph Nash ain't getting another head coaching job next. That's not gonna happen for him. Now he's gonna catch on with his relationships with other teams because he has relationships. He hooks somebody else up and they gonna get a gig and they're gonna bring him on. So that's what they do. It's the relationships you have, and he has relationships with people. But with that being said, B Watts, Steph Nash, he's not a winning coach. He has a losing percentage. He hasn't produced anything when it pertains to quarterbacks. He got rid of Baker Mayfield.
Right.
I'm talking about you got rid of Baker Mayfield. You got
Mm-hmm.
Deshaun Watson, and Deshaun Watson looked horrible after leaving Houston, in which he was a winning quarterback. You know, he was doing his
Mm-hmm.
thing in Houston. And then you turn around, you pick little Dylan.
Yeah.
Oh, my little Dylan. I tell you, like My Little Pony is My Little Dylan. And
Hey,
that's what
come
he
on.
is. He rides My Little Pony, but
Yeah.
it's My Little Dylan. He's with them. He gets the pony and he's My Little Dylan. And you picked him, and you have to be held accountable for that. If Greg will tell you, look at all of those black coaches that are winning coaches
Mm.
that got fired. And I'll give you another one. I'm gonna throw this one out to people. Flores should have never been fired. They should have hit the NFL. He got some money from the NFL because he won his lawsuit,
Right.
and he
Mm-hmm.
got another job. But this is what I'm gonna tell y'all. Flores was in there when his owner told him to throw games.
Yeah.
Now that's the mob there. That's the mob. Now, if you're talking about press charges on somebody, you should have been pressing charges on the Miami Dolphins owner because he told a coach, "I need you to throw these games."
Right.
And he got fired because go back and read. Go back and read. He told him to throw the game, and he got mad because Flores won a couple games at the end, which prevented them from getting a higher pick. That's what
Right.
he got hot about. So he fired him. So all I'm telling you is this one here: the fix is in, and when the fix is in, they want you to do things like right now. All Cleveland is thinking about is that new Coliseum, that new stadium. That's all they're thinking about. They could care less about what's going on. So
Mm.
all I'm telling people is this one here. Shedeur is gonna be fine. Relax. What Shedeur needs to be thinking about is this one here. He ain't taking them beatings that Lil Dylan taking. Because boy, they hitting Lil Dylan right now. They ride him like a government mule. He needs to be working on his craft, not worried about, hey, am I in the game? Because I'm telling you, Dylan's sore. Dylan sore. He done been in penitentiary. He done been in penitentiary. He's sore right now. And I'm telling Shedeur, he don't need none of that. All he need to do is sit back like Dylan was laughing at him when he was getting sacked against the Rams. I'll be sitting over there. How that feel, Dylan? Because they thought it was funny when it was Shedeur, but it ain't funny anymore. But B. Watts, I'm gonna throw this one because I know you're gonna get into this. It's awfully funny now. They're talking about Cleveland don't have talent, and that's why my man ain't successful. But when Shedeur was out there with people that working at 7-Eleven right now, he's an NFL player. He still need to make plays. Those are
Yeah.
NFL players. Now they're saying, and this is why I laugh at them, because they real, boy. Now they're saying, well, that talent ain't up to the level, and now we can't judge on how good he is because of the talent level.
Yeah.
Shedeur didn't have no receivers. And you told us he's an NFL quarterback. We still get to evaluate him. So all I'm telling y'all, sit back, relax, and listen to the lies change. Woo! Back to you, B-Wise.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that one.
Hey, shout out to Skull for the 4.99 super chat. We appreciate that. Hey, this is a metaphor of blacks in America. Black person is objectively, let me say it again. Black person is objectively better, but inferior to the yite. The yite has the nerve to talk mediocrity, meritocracy, all of the above. So, message, hello.
That's a good one there. He hit that right on. That made up Greg. That made up Greg alley. That hit him out.
That's Greg. Militia
Wow.
style, huh, Greg?
What's that?
I say militia style, huh, Greg? That's you. The militia.
Militia. I'm gonna say this. I told you all a long time ago when the season, before the season started, how they were gonna go. And now what's the topic now? Is they gonna start him or trade him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because from day one, it was set up for Shedeur to be in this situation. It was set up before he even was drafted there. So are we gonna act like this is new? Are we gonna act like, I don't know all the movement on why they moved Flacco and why they moved Pickett and why they had him down in the first place and why they didn't keep none of. That don't make no sense because they took all the reps, right? They took all the reps from Shedeur, and then they went to another team. But then Shedeur left, still ain't getting no reps. So it goes back that the same thing is going on. Whether Flacco was there, whether Pickett was there, and whether Gabriel was there, the same thing is going on. I think what we need to get past it. Let's just what Greg like to do. Greg like to let's look like it was real. Are we gonna blame this coach like he got that much power? Or was it going on before he even got to Cleveland and he just finishing them off? Is it really his idea to do Shedeur like this? Or was it his idea that Shedeur was gonna go 144th in the draft? Who fault was that? Because if it really was the right way, he wouldn't even made it to the Cleveland unless they drafted him in the first round or maybe even the second round. So how do you blame Cleveland for the fact that all these teams was in on it, and we're gonna act like it's a Cleveland issue on why he ain't hit the field yet? Just like we don't talk about why Shiloh's still over there being a YouTuber. He's just a YouTuber. I told him to go get his real estate license and just go sell some luxury real estate with his YouTube channel. I bet he make more money than he would playing football, but because his relationships. But why he ain't on nobody team? He ain't even good enough to be on nobody practice squad.
Yeah, I said it the other day, Greg.
How disrespectful is that? So we could talk about black, we could talk about this, we can talk about that. But man, I see all the arrows kind of point towards your name start with an S and end with an R. Or an S or whatever. It start with an S, end with an S. It looked like they catching it all the way down the Boulder. I rest with that.
Yeah, so when you do look at it, pick back off what Greg said, JR, is collusion still going on with the Sanders?
Look, I may not completely buy into the whole collusion, factor because football is still football at the end of the day. Not saying that there's not collusion involved in football, but I would have to really sit down and peel back the onion and look at everything and unfold everything. Now, do I think Shedeur deserved to be drafted at 5th round, 144th pick? Absolutely not. There has to be some form of colluding that occurred there for you to be rated as such a talent and then to enter the NFL not where you have been evaluated. I believe during the draft process, they said that was unheard of, right? So now that he's in the organization, there has to be somebody in your corner. So if there's somebody in your corner to say at least, hey, well, let's draft him for this, I stand and choose to believe that. But I can also lean to the notion that they drafted him so they could use his name, image, and likeness to sell tickets, to sell jerseys, to keep the media buzzing around their organization. I can also lean to that. But my thoughts and my views right now is that I'm looking at the coach and I'm hearing what the owner's saying, and I'm surprised Andrew Berry is all of a sudden not doing his press conference
Yeah.
when he typically does it, right?
Yeah.
But I'm listening to the rank and file. And Uncle Steve, you know, as being a military man, you know it's rank and file. You go in there with the leaders and the commanders of an organization, everybody gonna leave out and they on the same page. No matter if it's the dumbest thing we ever heard of, they're gonna leave out that room and they're gonna tell us what to do, and we just gonna follow suit. So I'm looking at Jimmy Haslam, and Jimmy Haslam saying, I let Andrew Berry make the decision. And Andrew Berry saying, I let the coach be the coach. So it looked like they all have colluded to say, this is what we're going to say, this is what we sticking to, and that's what we pushing out. So it's interesting, Greg. It is interesting to say the least, but
you want to know why he go ahead and read that.
I got you. Hey, shout out to Joyce R for the 199 super chatter. All the Cleveland media wants to see Shedeur. Now, you ain't lying about that. I done tiptoed around in a little bit of that Cleveland media. It ain't just G. Bush now. It's everybody. Everybody. So
well, I'm gonna say it like this. Y'all gotta look, see, you want to peel this onion back? Let's do it. I've been waiting for you I've been waiting for you to take the skin off the onion.
Lord.
Don't worry about
time.
Don't
Hey.
worry about tears and stuff. Your eyes burning. Don't worry about your image. Go ahead and get now through there, right? So let me tell you this: why wouldn't you draft it? It's like you know, on a crazy movie. It's like Mufasa versus Scar. It's like the Riddler versus Batman. It's like the Joker versus Batman. Every movie you see, they don't just kill you. That ain't fun. That's how a good old devil work. I'm gonna draft you and I'm gonna torture you. I'm gonna let everybody see you sweat. I'm gonna play with you and let go get him, meaty. Go pick at him. How you feel being on the bench? I mean behind Gabriel. I mean, how you feel watching 4 other quarterbacks play before you? Why y'all talking to the backup quarterback? That's what they down for, and that's what he down for. It's a poke at him. Look at you. You on the bench. You ain't never been on the bench before. What kind of questions is that? Well, what about your daddy? What's your daddy feel? How about your daddy, boy? You know, it's like you know, you can't do that if he ain't on the team. You want to see him sweat. If he was on the sideline or not even on the team like Shiloh, it ain't as fun. I gotta you know the movies where they hang you and they take your nails off one piece at a time, and then they poke at you and they just torment you.
Damn, like Toby? They treat it like Toby? That's what Uncle Steve said last week. Boy, your name Toby.
Yeah, your name is Toby.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna torment you publicly every week, every day. Every time you think I'm gonna let you up for air, I'm gonna dunk you back in the water. Like what they call waterboard your behind. Every time it's like you about to play. Yo, people think you about to play again. You hurt this week. I am? Yeah, you hurt this week. I ain't never been hurt before my whole life. Yeah, you hurt again. They're not gonna believe it. I've been on the bench. How am I hurt? You hurt. Okay? I don't got body slam and slam on my head every week in Colorado and play it every week. They're not gonna believe it. You hurt. So now you gotta play hurt. The brother like, nah, he ain't hurt. You know, all of that is part of the ritual. But you know what it's all designed to? Y'all don't want to believe this. Go back to the mafia. The dude gotta show he down with the get down.
There you go. Come on, man. Don't start that, man.
What you can't do is let the man with the blue underwear go and whoop Ric Flair. You can't do that. You can't do that. That ain't supposed to happen. You can't let the guy go in there with turkey meat with a chest. He shaved. He in there with some blue underwear on and some high-tech boots, and he whooped Ric Flair.
It don't happen. You right.
He don't even know what to do with the belt. Like he don't even know how to wear the belt. He don't have a persona. So Shedeur can't go in there and just go in there and blow up the league and go and whoop Cincinnati and go and whoop Baltimore and all that and mess up the whole storyline. He got to be down with the get down. He got to go and lose and look bad and be humiliated. The same way they humiliate him, he got to be willing to go in and lose some games on purpose for a few seasons to catch a Super Bowl on the 8th season or something. That's what all of them do. Yeah, what Drew Brees do? His whole career, he was considered a dunce, nothing. Then all of a sudden, he was the best ever when he went to New Orleans. He's been around. He wasn't doing nothing.
Huh?
These guys do nothing their whole career, and then they can be Hall of Famers at the end and legends. Come look, just watch it. You got to be willing to play ball. Shedeur haven't proved he willing to play ball. That's it.
Woo! The nature boy. Woo! Hey, this is now what I will say on this one here. When you're talking about Hollywood and the music industry, you're absolutely right. That Illuminati and all that, it's real. It's real. There ain't no doubt about it. The things they got, the secret little things they got going on and that stuff real. And if you don't believe it, you better ask people because you can see how they do things. Let's go back to
it's in everything.
yeah, it's definitely in society. It's in society. Society has things where, hey, you even the FDIC. If you look at the banks, people think I'll leave that alone. But that's another thing. It's a lot of stuff going on out there. I don't go in those directions right now. This is where I am going to go. It was collusion at the beginning for Shedeur Sanders. They wanted to prove a point to the Sanders that you're not going to dictate where your son's going to go. Now, let me add this. The Sanders added on to that collusion because they shouldn't have told Baltimore or Philadelphia not to draft him because he could have been playing right now he could have had about three games in right now for the Baltimore Ravens, and that could have changed a whole lot of things for him. So they made that decision. So I'm not going to blame somebody else pertaining to that because the Sanders made that decision and it came out of their mouth that Coach Prime said it himself on the Brothers show that's what they told him. You know, they told him, hey, he won't
picks before Cleveland. What's the difference?
No. But what I'm saying is this one here. It ain't the fact I guarantee you they talked to him before those two picks because when they see him falling like that, they're gonna call and get a feel for it, especially with the relationship that he has with Ozzy. They really know each other. So I don't care if it was one pick before. So it wasn't more than two picks before because if you pay attention to it, Cleveland came up to get it.
Right.
Because if that was the case, they didn't have to come up. Cleveland traded to come up to get Shedeur Sanders. So all I'm saying is this one here. The Sanders did make that comment. And when you make a comment like that to teams, you know, now it makes him go even farther down there in the loop when it pertains to it. I'm just saying that. These are facts, what I'm saying. Ain't no question about it because the Sanders said it. I'm just going on what they said. With that being said, that impacted where he ended up also. Now, when I go with Steph Nasty, he has something in this fight and the Cleveland Browns. If y'all pay attention to Barry was brilliant. Barry's like, I'm gonna bring Shedeur in. He's gonna garner all of this attention. We're gonna do stupid stuff. We're going to do stupid stuff like putting 4 quarterbacks out there so that people can get mad. And if you pay attention to it, no one talks about their incompetence. They bought themselves a lot of time. That's what brilliant people do. If you look at what's going on in America, they're giving you little stuff where they're making you, hey, let me do this here. Let me say I'm running for president for 10 years. And people just biting at it. I'm like, dumb, you ain't following the money. Follow the money. That's what you need to follow. So all I'm telling you is people do things to distract folks, and we're easily distracted. So burying them is brilliant. I like that. I like that strategy. If we bring Shedeur in, he will garner a lot of attention. Our incompetence will go a little, people will forget about our incompetence because every time he do something, he's sitting over there minding his own business, watching the game. And we're talking about the young man didn't come sit beside Lil Dylan. And then we see tape in which he did come and sit beside and was over there listening to everything they were saying. So I'm like, Folks, it's a game. And just like Greg said it, they played the game well. And the game is always about money. This thing is about money and control. It ain't money and control is what it's about. We want to show y'all athletes that you don't run nothing in the NFL, because what you need to pay attention to is this. They noticed what happened to the NBA. They gave the NBA players those guaranteed contracts and all of that power in which LeBron James comes up there and dictates how the NBA runs. If you notice, those NFL, Jerry Jones came out day one. You won't be taking a knee in the NFL. We ain't gonna be sitting up here doing these commercials. We won't talk about Black Lives Matter here. It's not gonna happen here. And they want to ensure that the plantation keep running the way it's been running. The only thing we're gonna do, we're gonna give you a little bit of money and you're gonna work the way we want you to work. We gonna, just like Samuel Jackson say, they gonna work it and they gonna keep on working till your back give out. And when your back give out, they gonna get the hammer and they gonna knock you right upside the head.
I bet y'all don't wonder why LeBron get to make the decisions though. Why does LeBron get to be the gatekeeper? What has he done? How many? What did he have to do to be the gatekeeper with his black stuff? What did he have to do to be, playing basketball for 40 years and he could just like fall all over the court and get fouled from a mile away and do all that weird stuff he be doing?
So you saying he had to kiss the ring?
He done kissed the ring.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what did he have to do that makes him so special where he didn't get Shedeured? Why did he get Shedeured? You know what I'm saying? I know he didn't have a dad, but I'm saying he was the king before he was the king. They gave him the throne before he even came out of high school. You know what I'm saying? He had the throne, and he kept the throne. No scandal has got him. You know what I'm saying? Nothing has got him. But he maintained his status. And when he get out of pocket in the media, when he don't push the agendas that you may love or hate, then he hurry up and get back in place. He not for the bucket. He always on the right side of what's being pushed. He's never going against it. What is the odds of that? So, that's called kissing the ring. You know what I'm saying? He's never going to rub it the wrong way. He's about a plantation. He never going to go against what the powers that be say. He always somehow on the same side. So what does that say?
That JR dog, you better watch out, man.
Out of all the years he's been in the league, he never rubbed them the wrong way.
Hey, he hit on my parlays. That's all I'm saying. He ain't playing now, but when he do play, he hit on my parlays. So hey,
I know y'all saw that video I sent y'all. They fired that joke. That joker did a 2 cartwheel, 5 jumping jacks, 3 push-ups.
But he can get away with that stuff because he chosen. Shedeur could be chosen too, but some missing. Because he got everything else that they need. He got the brand, he got the recognition, he got the bloodline, he got everything that they typically would want. The celebrities love him, but something seems to be missing. I wonder what that is.
Steve, you told me 6 months ago, maybe more, or longer, that when you look at a college, let's see how you say it. When you look at when a college player getting ready for the draft and all those owners and general managers come to it, you said ain't that but a plantation, be what? That's all it is. The white man coming out there seeing them. The white man come out there seeing them black guys perform. That's all it is. That stuff was going on back in 1940s. You still stick with that, big dog? You think that what that was?
Big dog, let that
let it go.
Hey, when they come out there and they're looking at those individuals, they're just looking at folks in shorts and it's like that. You have to realize those men. Look at their ages. People need to understand you are what your environment, what they grew up in. They grew up in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and things were different back then. And it's the same thing, because my point is this one here, B Watts. It's not, you got tape now. You got, not only do you have tape, you're actually going and watching games, and you're at you're at the practices every other week. So with that being said, or every other day you're at practices watching these individuals. If you're a subject matter expert, I don't need to see you throw the ball and with no shorts on, you watching, oh, jump. Let me see your teeth. Let me ask you this question. Man, I don't need to see that. I've already evaluated you as far as your talent. Now I can have conversation. Now I'll go and eat dinner with you to see where your mind's at. But I do all that evaluation. I just get your police record.
Yeah.
Let's see what you've done. Let's see what you've done. Let's see if we got anything going there. Let's talk to those how many baby mamas you got. Those are things I look at. And if you got 15 of those, I don't need you. You know, I'm like, because your head ain't gonna be there. And that's where I'm going. So yes, B Watts. They look at those guys, because what you have to realize, Greg is telling you, actually, he's going the long way about it, but he's telling you they want to control those players, and they want those players to do what they say, when they say it, and how they want to say it, because they want to keep that money in the family. And the family means they want to keep what they have. Back to you, B Watts.
$300 million, B Watts. You know these contracts now, especially with TV. Who gives a man $500 million to throw a football for him to be free, for him to have his own mind? Think about this. Is that you gonna get your own $500 million if you're gonna do that, right?
But it's just like Steve said, Shedeur ain't got to do that because he come with a brand. He can get his own. That's why they don't like Coach Prime. That's why they don't like Coach Prime, because Coach Prime taught him his way. Man, we got commercials. I'm with Kentucky Fried Chicken, Nike. Coach Prime said, I got my own draws.
But they can turn on you too, though.
They got his own shade, and you know he don't talk Shiloh and Shedeur them that way. So, hey,
be wise. Let's be real.
But I understand what you're saying. When somebody gives you $500 million, you got to do what they say.
But the next step is, guess who else can turn on you? KLC can turn on you too. They can at some point. Nike can turn on you too. So my thing is this. This is what Coach Prime, y'all want to just be real. This is what Coach Prime went wrong with the NFL. When he went into this whole idea, I'm gonna break the matrix. I've been watching the Matrix. He decided to break the matrix when he said, I'm gonna mess up the whole order of this thing. I'm gonna go be a
he said that, yeah.
And when I go be this HBCU coach, I'm gonna bring all the power to the HBCU, and we're gonna take it from the system. The system already in place. And then he messed up with that. That's when Nick Saban and everybody went to tripping, right? Travis went down there. They were beating the mess out of everybody in the swag. All them D1 boys want to go down there. And he's like, I'm gonna make the HBCU the new SEC. And he started trying to instigate the other Negroes on the plantation to come in, but they didn't, because they were sold. They was already sold. But he was like, y'all, come on, we're gonna do this. We're gonna put our money together. And they were like, oh, no, master, no. And then, so he ain't swag. Who is swag? We got that going on. So his own Negroes turned on him, right? So you can talk about the white. They turned on him first, right? So he's like, no, let me get on up out of here. I'm wasting my time. But this is why he messed up with NFL. He said, look here, NFL is wrong for not drafting these Negroes out of these Negro colleges. So he started calling out that, hey, because remember, he almost think it's about talent and all that crap. So he's talking about, why this boy ain't in the NFL? Why this boy ain't in the NFL? He started calling them out, saying he gonna do his own combine. He was messing up the order. They know how they want to pick people, who they want to pick. He started calling them out. He started putting them to shame, and he had the platform and the credibility to disrespect the NFL. And from that point on, they wanted to show him, you think you one of us, boy, just because we smile and hug you. You still just a player. You an old player. You a good player, but you don't sit at the table. But since we let you hang with you and we fluff you on the back, you thought you was a decision maker. You thought you was one of the elites because we gave you that money. See, they gave him that money. That he didn't make NFL, so everything he got was given to him, and they taking it away from him and his kids, and that's what you're looking at.
Well, Greg, I'm gonna stop you there. They don't give you anything. He made them a whole lot of money. And when he made them a whole, so I don't, I listen to it. I understand where you're going, but I want people to understand they didn't give him anything. If that was the case, they got plenty of African Americans they can give money to. That man produced money for the Dallas Cowboys, for the Atlanta Falcons. He put people in seats. He sold stuff. So he made his money. They didn't pay him enough. That's just like Michael Jordan. He didn't get enough because if they would have paid him to what he was bringing in, he should have had a whole lot more money. So I will go on the fact that they provided an income.
They money. He wasn't getting paid if they didn't have the money to give him.
No, whoa, let's stop you. You have to produce money too. You have to have a reason for people to pay for their product. And he is the reason they paid for the product. So ain't nobody going, I tell you this one here. The billionaires got all that money. Just let's say, hey, let them open up their stadium without the players. How much money you think they're gonna make?
But they smart enough to create the product and you perform for it versus you make the product and they perform for it, or you perform for your own product. See, he don't have no platform without them giving it to him. As talented as he is, if they didn't have the Cowboys for him to play on, you wouldn't know who he is. See, that's what they know. I give you the platform, I give you the money, and as long as I have that power, I can hang it over your head. What you think going on with Shedeur? Shedeur can perform. Shedeur has a following. Yet
but let me know.
It's
let me.
You're not.
Hey, B Watts.
But let me stop.
B Watts.
Yeah.
53-7, Colorado, Utah. That's nasty work, man.
Yeah.
That's nasty work, y'all.
Hey, I'm not what I'll tell you this one here. We'll go past this, but this is what I'll tell you. You earn your money when it pertains to your income. People don't give you money. I'm gonna tell you, like your job. You ain't gonna walk into your job and you're incompetent. You think you're gonna get a paycheck. Just don't happen. People don't get incompetent people money. Yeah. No. I know you didn't. I know you didn't. But my point is, you're using an adjective and a verb. Some of they gave. They don't give you nothing. If I go to work and I produce, you're not giving me nothing. I'm providing you a product, and I'm getting the money that value for that product. So you're not I don't let people get away with telling me you gave me something. And something else about Coach Prime. Coach Prime is an entrepreneur. That dude hustles. Even if he wasn't with football, he had baseball. So he was going to do something to make money. And if you look at it, he's a leader amongst leaders. People like him. So when you're dealing with dudes like that, they're going to make money because they're going to get in with people, and people are going to be like, okay, I'll go over some stuff with him. Now, what I agree with you is when he made those comments took Massa off guard. We're going to show you, and we'll go from there. Let's get to that Colorado beatbox and get back to your station here, sir.
All right, I appreciate y'all. Both y'all right on. I know what Greg's on, but I understand.
You ain't got no stage play on like Shedeur. He can't prove nothing until they put him on the field.
Right.
You know, as talented as he is.
Okay. All right, let's go to the Colorado side, guys. We only got now lost my time. Let's go to the Colorado side. What happened, JR? What really happened to Colorado and against Utah?
I don't know what happened.
Don't come here and talk about no nighttime. Both of them teams out there. That game was over.
Greg, turn that lamp off, Greg. Greg know what happened. It was 10:15 Eastern Standard Time, and Greg called it on Thursday. It's just crazy stuff happened on them nighttime buffs.
Man, what happened? Man? What happened to the game? Okay, I'm talking about on the field. What happened on the field?
No, like I reiterate what I said on Sunday, man. We kind of broke down the game. They didn't have no want to, and they stopped believing. You know, Coach Prime came in there the first year, and it was I believe. I don't even think they selling I believe merch this year. I ain't seen it, at least. So but
I didn't see I didn't see O. I didn't see JoJo starting the game out. Nobody. Yeah, I found out they didn't
Now,
show up to practice after the break. From what
I give Coach Prime credit on that. The standard is the standard. So I'm all for that. I know some people be like, man, them the best receivers we got. You need to put them out there. No, the standard is the standard because you got those young men behind them, and that's a reflection of your team. If you let one thing go, you might as well let it all go. Look, if a Heisman Trophy winner and Travis can show up on time, have a 4.0 GPA, win the Heisman, lead them to victory after victory. If he can do it, why can't you do it? And you're not even producing like Travis was producing last year. So the standard is the standard. But like I said, it was a I believe thing. The first year they got there, I believe. They came out the gate hot. They won 3, lost 1, and then lost all of the next 6 or 7 games. But they still played with an effort. They were still in the game, right, Greg? It wasn't a game where they were getting blown out outside of that Washington State game kind of thing where the doors just got blown off. Even last year, they went to Nebraska. That was a tough loss, but they didn't get the doors blown off of. They got the doors blown off they behind. Oregon got them that first year too, but they got the doors blown off their behind. Chidozie called it earlier in the week. He said, y'all boys weak as SHIT. Y'all ain't got it. This ain't this. And we saw it on the field. I saw a true freshman get blindside blocked. Nobody came to his defense. I saw Jordan Seaton arguing with little Martin Luther King Staub on the field. What are we doing? That's what
Jordan
I
King
saw,
arguing
Greg.
with somebody. He got beat like a drum the whole game.
But if Jordan Seaton is supposed to be the leader, right? Coach Prime didn't deem him a franchise, but
Yeah.
you got the backup quarterback coming in saying, no, nah. And you got the franchise saying, this what we doing. That would never happen with Shedeur. I don't care who was the elder statesman in that instant. If Shedeur under center and he said, we ain't doing it, we ain't doing it. If Jordan Seaton, the leader of your offense, if he say we gonna do it, hey, you get your behind under center and let's make it happen. But obviously Martin Luther King had it right. Martin Luther King Staub had it right because they tried to do it and he ain't get in there. So I don't know what's going on, Greg. I don't know.
What's going on is what's been going on. You told me to cut the lamp off, so I'm just gonna do the rest of the show nighttime buff style. Nighttime buffs. Y'all pull the stats. It's not gonna be no debate. Anybody want
I'll
to
pull it up for you.
show me any game, these 10 o'clock Eastern games where they perform. Show me any game where we was pleased. He said they played like they should. They had a fast start. Show me one. All right. And then show me they're gonna go beat the mess out of West Virginia. You're gonna say, oh, they sorry. West Virginia sorry, but they're gonna play 10 o'clock Mountain Time, right? They're gonna play 10 o'clock Mountain Time, gonna be about 1 o'clock Eastern. And they're gonna beat the mess out of West Virginia out there. Like you're gonna be like, where that team come from? You know, it's something that I've known a long time about biology. It's a big thing. What you eat, how you sleep, how you prepare. It's big, you know. But we gonna, you know, when that game came on, I don't know, it was the nightness and the late nightness, but it immediately felt like Washington State. It was Washington State the whole night. From the very start, the way that crowd was going, it was like smoke in the air. It reminded me of that Friday night Washington State game against Cam Ward 2 years, 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
They just came out there and they scored everywhere, kickoff return, punt return. All that, everything in the book, they did it, just like the Washington State game. They faked the punt. They threw touchdowns. They got interceptions. They did everything. Safety. They scored everywhere. They did a cycle, like baseball. They did a cycle. They scored every kind of way they did, except for kickoff return. And you know, and nothing Colorado could do right. They couldn't move the ball. They couldn't tackle. So when you see a game like that, and then you look at a team's history, this wasn't unique to Colorado. When they lay down, they lays down. They lay down. You know,
they went to sleep.
They got sleeping bags and everything, but they don't know how to. When they lay down, they don't have lay down.
Yeah.
You know,
they go night.
Night. They about to goose egg them boys until Martin Starr came in. They weren't even trying to score, and they weren't trying to stop them. And that's what you were looking at.
All right, what happened, man? What happened Colorado, though.
Well, they didn't show up. That's what
Mhm.
happened. They didn't show up. They cashed those checks, and when they cashed those checks, and they were happy, and they content with where they at. This is what I'll say. Now, Greg, what I'm disappointed in that Coach Prime came out and made that statement about data, because at the end of the day, you
He
played
told
another
me
team
today at
tonight.
the press conference. He
You
said
you
they can't play
you,
at
you
night.
played you,
He
you
said
played
they
another
can't play
team.
at night.
What I don't want is this, B Watts. I'm not giving my team a reason for excuses. If the other team was woke, the other team
Yeah.
was ready to play, and
Yeah.
if they were ready to play, why ain't my team? Every other team ready to play at that time except Colorado. And this is what I will tell you. What I have noticed. Now, this is what I've noticed. When Colorado goes to a place in which the people are predominantly white, and it's cold, and they up in there yelling
Yeah.
with they little fish porks, them forks and everything like that, and tell them we gonna kill them. What I've seen,
They
what I've
checked
seen
out,
is
huh?
this here. This is the truth. All them thugs, we call them, all them guys who book. They tell my mama, come get me. Because these folks, they're crazy. Because go look at it. Let me give you examples. People say, well, where is he going? Look at Nebraska. They thought they was in Children of the Corn. And when they and when I and this is what Shedeur. Shedeur and Travis played hard and a couple other people, but the rest of them, man, they was done. They was shook. Let's go another one. Let's go with this game. Man, they went up to Utah. Boy, they saw them jokers. They like, good God Almighty, what is going on here? And we might not be able to get out of here. Them Utes. Hey, who we got over there? We got them Utes. So all I see is this one
Yeah.
here. You got all them brothers on that team. And them boys whooped them like they was still in the field, cotton field. And they told them they gonna put them right back in there. You can get mad all you want to, but as far as I'm seeing it, I'm from Mississippi, and we had predominantly black team on there. We had somebody else over there was another. We ain't going over there letting you whoop us like that. You might have did it back then, but you ain't gonna do it now. All I'm telling you is this one here. Those young men didn't take the pride of the Colorado Buffaloes. And I'll put it to you this way. When they got up 17-0, or whatever the case may be, 20-0, B Watts, if they had any testicular fortitude, those boys would have stood in there and say, we're going to stand in the paint. They didn't do
Yeah,
that. It's a few of them did stand in the paint, and I'm going to give them credit. Bayer stood in the
yeah,
paint. You can say what you Arden Walker played hard. I'm
yeah,
just going on. London Merrick played hard.
yeah,
Ben Fenner said he was just all over the damn place. He played hard, but
yeah,
he didn't know where he was going. So I would say Ben was lost. Ben was lost like a doggone robot. But you
yeah.
had some that stood in the paint. I will tell you this, and I mean this here. They should be ashamed. Any player that went out when they got back to Colorado and you doing podcasts or you doing anything, ain't nowhere in the world I get out there and do anything till I got back on that field that next week and showed them I'm a man. And I will not represent my mother and father the way they did. You got all of that money in your banking account. Because if it was me, if I'm Coach Prime, none of them jokers would have got paid. I would have said, stop every check on there and let's see how they act then. Let's see if they got some dog in them then. I guarantee you their parents and everybody else will be coming up there. They'll be at the doorstep. Well, my child. No, your child didn't do a doggone thing. He didn't work. And when you don't work, you don't get paid. That's what I do. And they didn't work. And Coach Prime, y'all shouldn't get paid either because y'all did them a disfavor too. I ain't gonna just say this, and I'm gonna go Coach Prime, you and because what Pat Shermer was calling. And I ain't gonna just say Pat Shermer. That defensive coordinator, we gave him all them props, but I'm seeing right now, he ain't got a clue. He ain't got a clue either. I'm not giving none of them props. And then people that, what you mean by that, Steve? I saw, this is what I knew you was in trouble. Why is Cam Michael getting the first? Why is he back there as the starting running back in the game? When you got
Yeah, I
that
don't get
boy
it.
Hayden should be starting. You're putting them back there where you don't have your receivers in the game.
Yeah.
Put a season and next thing, why wasn't Timmons playing? You need an experienced receiver back there. These are things that I know. I'm not putting freshmen back there that are bumping into each other, going wrong routes, don't
Yep.
understand what happens when you blitz, how to pick up blitzes. And I'm like, Quick Six, love him. But Quick Six, boy, he bumped into your boy Harge, and Harge had to break off to try to make a play on a thing that he should have been there. So, and then they're going all these long and then the next thing, Schumer make me so sick, my head spins with him. You're getting blitzed. You're
Every
getting
play.
blitzed. And you
Every
got
play.
these dudes doing these long routes. And I'm not, and all of y'all that's attacking Salter just one of them. Salter different, man. Salter just stuff just goes off his back. He is not gonna be one of those, he is not a Shedeur. He is Salter. And K Salt, I got love for you. But K Salt, this is what I do have my issues with you. If you know that they're not blocking for you, you know they bringing more than they're blocking. Why don't you tell Sincere, do a hitch, running back, get your butt over here, and then it's the next one. Oh my goodness, this made my head. I would have fired Schumer on this one here. If you're gonna have an empty backfield, why in the world are you gonna put 29 at the far end when you got number 6 over there? You got Cam. This is when you put Cam Michael over there and like he a receiver, and you do, and the man threw an interception because you got a running back who ain't no speedster running down the thing, don't know what he's doing.
5'7" running back running
Exactly.
a street.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
And you got
crazy,
these
bro.
and you got 2 receivers, Cam Michael and your other boy 6. You got them that are receivers. Those will be doing those things. So all I'm saying is this one here, B Watson, hear me what I'm saying. Coach Brian got to look at himself. So if he's talking about the Buffs have issues at night, he do too. And he need to put and I'm not and my problem is this one here. He got too many of his friends that are in there that are not telling Coach Brian, you ain't got to embarrass nobody. But what you do have to do is this one here. And they don't listen to me. I would bring that linebackers coach in there. The one who used to be calling everything at the top of the booth. I would bring him into my office and I'll ask him, what could we do on defense that can change some things around? I'd
You
ask
talking
him.
about Hilo.
Hilo. I would bring Hilo, and then I would bring Brett in my office, and I'll say, Brett, this is what I'm saying. Now, Coach Brian, this is what I'm saying, and I'm not a football guy pertaining to Greg and B. Watts and J.R. Boxing. I'm not even at their level, but I'm at this level. I can see some bull jump. You got you got receivers that are running wrong routes. You got receivers that are in the same place on routes. You got receivers doing long routes, 15, 20 yards out there when you're getting blitzed.
Yeah.
Where do you do that at? You got running, and then this is my next thing. This is what I'm doing, B. Watts. I'm bringing an extra offensive lineman in like you did with your boy Yaya, who's injured, but I'm bringing another guy because you got 7 or 8 good offensive linemen. I'm bringing in 2 offensive linemen. I'm putting them back there. You got receivers. You're still going to have 3 receivers because of the fact your running back is a receiver. You still get 3 receivers. You got time, and now you tell K Salt, if you don't see anything, run, get 5-6 yards. We're going to move the chain, and we're going to slowly win this game, and we're going to force them to do something. Because what you can't do, 7 3-and-outs. 7 3-and-outs. What your defense gonna do? And then you throw an interception.
It was
your defense can't do
7
nothing.
3-and-outs.
Well, it had to be
consecutive?
like 37 yards. It had to be consecutive something.
7 3-and-outs.
I fell asleep on the game. I ain't gonna lie.
And hear me, B. Watts.
Now, we were looking for
when
you.
I tell you this,
B. Watts. Y'all both had night had your little onesies on.
I was asleep. I saw
Only
17-0.
person was in the chat was Steve. He the only person in there.
I said 17-0.
Hey, I heard it going off. I said, boy, them boys on the
He was so mad. B. Watts didn't even want to look at it. B. Watts didn't want to look at it.
Hey,
man.
We was in that phone that saying ding, ding. I said,
boy, them vibrate.
I said, they on the roll tonight. I said, I ain't looking, I already know. But look here, though, Stevie. Check this out, Stevie. Check this out, Greg. Check this out, JR. Check this out, chat. If Coach Prime told us all summer this the best team they ever had and the best coaching staff they ever had.
Mm.
Man, come on, man.
Well, he said
Wow.
Coach Prime was a salesman. He said that. But he what he forgot. What Coach Prime already told y'all, he go to bed at 8 o'clock every night. Did he not tell y'all that? So why y'all surprised when he told y'all, I go to bed
He
at
go
8
to bed
o'clock
at
every
8.
night because I'm up at 3, 4 o'clock at the school. So he already told y'all he gonna be discapacitated. And the game started at 8.
Time
His
out,
ones.
man.
Yeah, his ones
Time out.
But check this out, though. Check this out. Check this out. Check this out, Augustine. Check this out, JR. Greg. Did the excuse me.
Bless you.
Did the man, did they just bring in the wrong players? Did they identify the wrong players? Jaheim Otis was the first one they brought in, gave him a bag just because he went to Alabama, and look at the play on the field. Man,
Look, I'm kind of 50-50 on that. But one, shout out to Danny Lil John for the $199. I got you, brother. CU has checked out. They hitting the portal. Shaking my head. I'm with you on that, about 60-40 on some of that portal stuff. But
Who want them? Who want them?
Yeah.
If you hitting the portal, who wants you?
Well, who wanted Benson? Now Benson on the number 2 team in the nation.
But you named one. You named one person. You named one person. You named one or two people.
They benched Benson last year.
And they missed on Benson too. That's a coaching. My thing is the coaching. But I will put it to you this way: I look at London Merritt and I look at McPherson. I look at Jordan's. I see a lot of progress on certain people. I see the running back room. Progress in the running back room. So I see certain things that you have progress on. And everybody talking about the portal. The portal ain't no saving grace because look at how many people still in the portal. So let's let everybody want to go jumping. Go jumping. Everybody want a new girlfriend, but don't want to keep Old Faithful. So go out there and get them. Because what I'll tell you is this one here. Look at all those fired coaches. All those fired coaches and all those players on those other teams. They're not staying. They're not staying. Where you think they're gonna go? They going somewhere because the new coach coming in don't want all of them. So all I'm telling you is this one here. Colorado's issue is Coach Prime them did a couple things wrong here. They didn't believe what people told them about players. And I'm going to give you an example. People told them how Kamani McLean was when he was in high school. When you read the reports and stuff on Kamani McLean, he was immature. He wasn't coming to practice. He was blah, 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 blah. Didn't mean he was a bad person. But when you get all of that information, those are players you go at that time. You can look at Otis. They gave you information about Otis. Otis is not a bad person, but I guarantee they say he was lazy and he had bad habits and stuff like that. When you get that intel, you do not get players like that. And Coach Prime them, whoever in there who thought we gonna 1-800-SAVER, they were wrong, and they shouldn't have done it. And they shouldn't have done it.
Coach Prime feel he can because he's this one. That boy they didn't want out of USC that was at Georgia. They said, oh, he got bad character.
Bear Alexander, yeah.
And now they say he balling. Some people can do it.
It's different. It's different. But Bear Alexander was balling everywhere he went. He was balling at Texas. He was just a baller. He was getting paid. He going around getting paid. So ain't no knock on that. This is where I'm going with it, Greg. This is where I'm going on it, Greg. I think Coach Prime them should have did something like this. That linebacker that was at IMG, they should have paid extra money for players like that, because those players like that come in at Colorado and they do very well because they're inept with that kind of whatchamacallit. I think Coach Prime did wrong on this one here, and I have to give Matt McChesney credit on this one here. Coach Prime should be giving some of those offensive linemen that are in Colorado, that love that place, that are embedded in Colorado. He should be picking up those players. If he got to pay a little extra, you got to pay a little extra. What you can't do is be paying people like Otis and other people that you're paying and missing. If you get a person from Colorado, those big old cornbread guys that are from there, and their father played at CU, those are the young guys you want to bring in because now you can develop a culture. You can
Yeah.
develop a culture, and now you're going to be emboldened to the fan base because the fan base, he's one of us. He's one of us. A boy from Florida ain't one of them. You can
Yeah.
put it whatever you want to. Them ain't one of them. One of them is look like them. They were born and raised in that place. So all I'm saying, these are things Coach Prime can do. And the next thing Coach Prime got to do, he got to start firing people, man. All that nice and I get that. You don't get it. You don't get it. You do not get it. You don't have incompetence because if they felt like you were incompetent, Coach Prime, you would be on the first thing smoking. But they don't feel that way about you. But you and this loyalty stuff, you and this I love Ben Finnison, I love Trevor Woods crap. I
Yeah, you
tell you
gotta
what,
get
I
past
can
that.
love you, but you ain't getting on that field. I can love you, but you ain't gonna be the one making a decision on people's livelihood. Now because of this crap, because Ben Finnison should have never been in that game. I saw Slaughter come in and Slaughter played 10 times better than that, made tackles and everything else. All I'm saying is this, B-Wise. Coach Prime needs somebody to get in his face and be real with him. Say, dog, come on, coach. Coach, I know where you're going. Your heart is right, but your heart can be right and you still can be wrong.
Yeah. Shout out.
Cincinnati does not have half the talent you got at Colorado, and he got the right coaches, and they believe in and going from there. Coach Prime, you're too much with these movies. You like these sad movies and love for TV. You need to let that crap go. Go back to the days of when you were with the Dallas Cowboys. You had criminals. Get you some criminals and let's get to going. Back to you, B.Y.
Hey, I'm
Oh,
with you,
come
Steve.
on, man.
Oh,
Come
no,
on.
I'm with Steve on that. He got
Shout
to get some
out.
guy to get off that bus first with
But
them
he ain't
bandanas
no
behind
defense
the
with
head.
Colorado, though.
JR, let me get this out. A1
Yeah, I
Sport.
got you. I got you. A1 Sports, man. Hey, shout out for 499. A1, I see you in the chat, dog. Hey, what about when K Salt, oh Lord, here you go. What about when K Salt got that play through his helmet and was looking like, I know he ain't calling this.
Hey,
A1, you ain't
let's talk
right.
about that. Let's talk about that, JR. We got, y'all give me 10 more minutes. Let's talk about that. Pat Sherman, the offensive coordinator. Talk to me, JR. What's going on with that play calling, man?
Look, I was asleep by the time that happened, y'all. I'm gonna keep it 100. But look, I saw the little snippets of it, and going back and watching the game, throughout the next 2 days, because there wasn't much of a game to watch. Yeah, I saw it. I saw it on the replay live. Like he was like, "What?" At first, I was like, well, "Maybe he can't hear," but then I was like, "Well, nah, because Utah already up 40 points, so they ain't like overly cheering. Like people starting to leave at that point because they already up 40 points." So K Salt like, "Nah, man, he can't." Hey, all right, So look, Uncle Steve said it earlier in the show. I commend K Salt because you can be the hero and you can be the zero all in 1 week in the fan base eyes. Boy, when that TCU game happened, it was criminal against K Salt. How could he go and do this? How can he go and do that? And then shout out to them boys over there, Buffton Prime, man, T Cal, CT the fan, man. They do a great breakdown over the all 22 film, and then you see receivers not running route concepts correctly, and you see receivers not getting depth correctly, or receivers out of position, or K-Salt getting flushed out of the pocket consistently where he has to throw over different platforms because he can't hang in the pocket because the O-line is not holding up. So again, I salute K-Salt for sticking in there, but I'm the same way with Uncle Steve. Look, hey, if Martin Luther King style feel that comfortable to come in off the bench and go at your franchise player and tell him this is what we ain't gonna do. Same thing against Delaware. He out there calling his own shots. Sincere go deep, do this, do that. And we wondered why Shedeur was soon as he get the play call, he at the line of scrimmage changing everything. This. And we like, dog, if you just run the play, it may work. No, Shedeur knew. That ain't gonna work, dog. So I need to go out there. Hey, you gonna call a formation? I'm gonna change it up as soon as we get out there. So look, a lot of people need to have their jobs lost. I hate calling for people's jobs. I'm not one to do that. But I'm with Uncle Steve and I'm with Greg on this, man. Look, it has to be some realization. Coach Prime got to check himself. And by checking himself, you cannot further allow the lack of coaching ability to affect the outcome of these young men. Because it's not about just player acquisition. You're going to miss on some players. Whether it's character, whether it's athleticism, you're going to miss. But you can't tell me Utah coach got a room full of 5-star exceptional talent. He don't. It's probably not one 5-star player on that team. Probably a handful of 4-stars. So he working with some 3 and no stars. So you can't tell me that you can't get it together. You got to coach it right. Linebacker play been bad from the first year. It got better a little bit last year. It got better a little bit last year. I'm starting to believe that was to the execution of the assistant linebacker coach that was in the room. Because we look at linebacker play this year, and there's no way you telling me French is making the same mistakes he made game 1 compared to game 8. There's no way you're telling me that happens, B. Watts. And Greg, I know that's your expertise, so I yield to you on that, brother.
Well, let's be all the way real with that. The only difference between this year and last year was personnel, and I talked about that. You got away with murder because you had the personnel that had they had some stuff you didn't have to teach them. Whether they got it somewhere else. Hill Green came in with a lot of experience, and he here at linebacker core because the linebacker core did not change. The coaching didn't change. Hill Green was the difference. Bentley played a little better with him, but Bentley still was Bentley. You know, then you had a whole block bully in the middle who commanded at least 2 people to block him every single play. A lot of times 3. But he was doing that in Houston, so you can't say D. Lou taught him, Sal taught him. He was already doing that, so that significantly changed your defense. Then you brought in Green, BJ Green off the edge, who was already the top pressure edge rusher in the conference before he even got there. So you brought in a lot of stuff. You had Travis Hunter, who you automatically knew if they even looked like the ball was going over there, he was gonna pick it off. He picked off 4 balls by himself. Then this whole team will this whole year because of his ball skills and his skills. These boys ain't picking crap off. They ain't making no turnovers, no big plays. They ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? So you went from having the number 1 sack defense. You had the number 1 sack defense last year. You had the number 1 cornerback. You had one of the top linebackers. You had all of that. That's why your defense was different. Then you had Silman Craig back there. Command and everything. So that's why your defense was good. And we had Colton Hood and they didn't even use him. Or else we would have beat Kansas State. Colton Hood would have been out there instead of Howard.
Don't remind me of that.
Here, I was sitting right there in that old cold sanctified stadium. It was quiet and cold and late and dark. And everybody was taking naps in between timeouts because they were acting hurt every other play. But you got all of that going on. That's why they was better last year. The offense, you had 3 pro receivers on there. 3 pros. You had LeJounte, Jimmy, and Travis out there on the field at the same time. Pros. They weren't running routes to the same area. They knew how to do scramble drill very well. They knew how to get open. They had IQ. These boys, they running all 3 of them running routes to the same area. They look like that was Dylan Gabriel. They look like all the routes going the same area. That's why Stefanski and Sherman, they got the same daddy or something. They got the same.
Hey man,
they got the same. Whoever taught them the same. They route trees.
They from the same coaching tree.
Your trees and your branches run together. The branches go spread out. All they branches go to one side. You know what I'm saying? Like they route concepts the quarterback get left in limbo. So you put these factors together, you got to lose the season.
Yeah.
What I think what Cruden really messed up at, Hill Green should have never left out that building. I don't care if he asked for more money, you should have paid him.
Yeah.
And them hood boys should have. I don't care what you had to do. And I'm gonna go.
Brandon could
And
have
I'm
played backfield. He could have been back there doing the same thing.
yeah. And Hood and his brother should have never left with that attitude. Oh, we can just replace. No, you just can't replace players like that. Those are players that can flat out get it, and those are players that you pay their maturity. And the next thing, Coach Prime came out and named McKinney as all of this here stuff when Colton Hood was, other than Travis, was the man. So I'm just gonna go. That's Coach Prime because he's a DB guy, so he should have known. I'm looking at action. And when you're looking at action, it is what it is. Hood outplayed it every day of the week. I don't care if he did get hurt. This is what Colorado don't have. Colorado don't have players where you know what you're gonna get. They got players that are Houdini. Peekaboo, peekaboo. And it's hard to win with somebody. JB will get 15 tackles this game, and then the next game he'll get 2. And this ain't a JB thing. JB has improved, so his game has improved. When Ben is one of your most productive person in the backfield, hell, your season over with. Your season over with. Your season is over with.
Dang,
You can take it any way you want to.
Trevor Woods. He's what Trevor Woods supposed to be. He's everything that he wanted Trevor Woods to be. That's Ben.
Ben is a good over with. Ben is a good guy. I like him. He's funny. He can be the white Coach Prime, but Coach Prime is on the bench. Coach Prime is on the sideline. The white Coach Prime and the white Ben that's in the uniform need to be on the bench. And when they come out there, it's for special teams. What happens is this one here. I hope Coach Prime don't come out. Coach Prime, please don't pick the next superstar. Let the superstar show us who they are. That's the first thing. Next thing you got to look at is this one here. When you're coming out there, Coach Prime wouldn't have to do anything if you get competent coaches. Competent meaning this one here. Do they understand football? Yes, they do. But I'm telling y'all, when it comes to adjustments, when it comes to Schumer, he'll call the first 10 plays. But after that, and this is the problem. This is what I've noticed. They tell you, oh, we worked in practice. Hell, anything will work in practice with them. You need to be watching film. Why do you think all of their plays work against you? Because them coaches in there, and T. Cal make it so bad that, hell, if you're so lazy, just watch T. Cal. He goes and he had put one of your grad coaches in there with him and then debunk anything he's saying. I would have had T. Cal's 20 every game he's had. I would be watching that if I'm Coach Prime, and I'll be asking Shermer, why is these two receivers in the same place? Why is it they're blitzing and we're sending receivers 15 yards down the field, and then somebody got the audacity where if he made the play, hell, you can't make the play. It's 2 people on your head in 2 seconds. How? And it take them X amount of so you just gonna throw the ball. You just got to. So all I'm telling people, then somebody got the audacity. I watch DMVR and I love that show. But then that's when they want to come with that narrative. Well, he had 4 plays. Well, they had more than 4 plays. So you can knock him on them 4 plays, but hell, they had more than 4 plays that he was getting creamed. And all I'm telling you is this one here. If that's the case, and I'm not smart, watch this. If they're blitzing from the right, why aren't you running the option to the if they're blitzing from the left, why aren't you running the option away from them to the opposite side of the field? You can stop that crap. You can stop it. And if I'm running the option, that means you got all these people over here. I got more people on this side. We can go from there. If not, run the hitch. It's plenty of things this is coaching. And I'll tell you something else. Why don't y'all get out of this pride stuff, man, with this man-to-man? And I'm done with the linebackers. Why is the middle of the field always open? It's like a girl. Well, it's like somebody's legs.
Play, Uncle Steve. They like to run that concept.
Hey, they like to give it to you. And what you notice, this is what I like. Coach Prime, if I'm the AD, I have Coach Prime in my office, and I'll just be showing. This is what I'll be showing. I'll be showing Utah coaches high five and laughing over there on the sideline because of that nonsense that y'all doing. That's what I'll be showing. Hey, Coach, it's here. They high fiving and stuff, and the reason they're high fiving, they saw something on tape, like special teams. How did they know to do that fake punt? Because they saw that
They
joker
see it.
over there every time running and messing around, going through the motion instead of doing their assignment. How is it that they always that quarterback sneak stuff work? It works because you got the outside edges always trying to make a play, and you got Barnes in the middle, lazy, who's up in there, who's high
Watts
and
boy.
not doing what he's supposed to be doing and not in his proper gaps like he's supposed to. And he does it all the time. Even during the spring, if you watched him, he was always high. And that's what they're telling y'all. It's hard to get those kind of players out of those bad habits, but you get a high school player, you can teach them good habits all the way through because you got more time. They're more open to listen to you. I'll leave it alone, B. Watts, but at the end of the day, this is if Coach Brian want to be like Brian Kelly, keep being prideful because I promise you, them folks ain't gonna let you sit up there and seeing the product of Pat Shurmur. They ran Pat Shurmur out of everywhere he's been. Everywhere he's been, he's a fired coach. Coach Prime, you've never been fired. But keep this mess up. Keep
We'll
this
be
mess up to
fired, yeah.
depending on people who are incompetent. And you fired everybody at Jackson State. You were winning at Jackson State and you got rid of people. Now here you sitting around here when this guy making you look like a clown and we still got him out there. Man, I'm tired of this stuff, man. Back to you, B.
Hey, we want to thank everybody tonight for Sports Talk with B. Watt. We want to thank JR Boxing, Greg said it, and the one and only Uncle Steve. Want to thank everybody who tuned in tonight. That's the end of the show. We appreciate y'all. JR, give us your last word, then Greg, then Uncle Steve. We out of here.
I ain't got nothing, man. These gentlemen said it all. I ain't got nothing, man.
All right. Greg.
Man, I'm just sitting over here in my nighttime, ready to go to bed like Colorado, man. I'm just for the game.
I knew it.
I'm ready for the show, man.
Uncle Steve.
Hey, this is what I'll say, B. Watts. You got a fantastic show. And I'll tell all the people out there in Colorado, tomorrow's a brighter day. You know, you right today we can get on here, we can say this, but tomorrow you got an opportunity to change the narrative and do your thing. And all I want to tell you is this one here. What are y'all gonna be remembered for? Because the seniors, homeboy, y'all ain't gonna be able to come to nobody's when they have these reunions and stuff. The way y'all are doing it right now, where y'all gonna go?
Yeah.
You can't go to your old place because they don't like it because they like you left us. And Colorado, the way you're giving up and playing like this, you ain't gonna be able to come to Colorado because they're gonna look at you, dog. You ain't one of us. And all I'm telling you is you got an opportunity to change the narrative, make a bowl game, and it changes everything. You make a bowl, you win 3 of the next 4, it changes everything. And you are in control of that. And don't blame the coaches. Don't go getting a no pity party because ain't nobody hearing it. Because when you cashed that check and took it to that strip club and ate them wings, ain't nobody help you then. So you can leave that alone. B. Watts has been fantastic. You got a great show. Greg, you always killing them. JR, I see you everywhere, young man. Keep doing what you're doing. God bless. Have a good night. And I'm going to do what the Buffs weren't able to do. I'm going to go win. Back to you, B. Watts.
We're trying to fix what was broken last week, and we're on to this week. We're not there last week. We're past that. We just got to go out there and do what we're capable of doing. We're prepared to have no opportunity for failure. That's how you bounce back from adversity.
This will be Colorado's second home game of the year, and I'm telling you, they need a big time win.
This is a football game you've got to win convincingly, and I think they will. There has been a little bit more of kind of that edge within this program.
This is kickoff week from beautiful Boulder, Colorado. You got to give this crowd so much credit here at Folsom Stadium.
I don't need nobody scared. I don't need nobody afraid, nobody timid. Be that dude. Everybody wants to be hit. It's time to be hit. Because we belong.